Hey, this is Chris Johnson of Free Your Mind Reviews with a review of Ad Astra. Ad Astra is about an astronaut played by Brad Pitt who, after an accident caused by something called a surge, has to go on a mission to basically confront and stop his father, who may or may not be the cause of the surge that is threatening our entire solar system. Now, up front, the trailers don't, and I'm not really surprised by this, but the trailers don't really represent the movie as well as they should. They kind of represent the movie as this exhilarating kind of pulse pound type of film, and it's really more of a slow, reflective movie on the nature of humanity and what humanity you lose when you go off and you aspire to be greater, when you aspire to be bigger. Um, I didn't think it was an action movie or anything like that myself because I know to read between the lines when I'm looking at actual footage in a trailer. But I can see that being something that can really affect people's mindsets of the film because, I was kind of noticing in IMAX that people were kind of bored. And I wasn't. I thought it was a very interesting, very engaging, uh, very calming and soothing movie. But then I like those kind of science fiction, space epics that take their time with their pace and their thoughts are maybe a little more subtextual. I'm a huge fan of 2001. I'm a huge fan of Interstellar. I'm a huge fan of Arrival. Um, Annihilation was pretty great too. I love Annihilation as well, but I don't think I had Asterisk as good as any of those movies. I don't. I just found those other movies a little more engaging. Uh, in Interstellar does such a great job of, for me in particular, of balancing its ideas of space, interstellar travel, and wormhole usage and black holes with the emotion of a father having to leave his daughter in order to save her, and the humanity of that situation, the humanity and emotion of that environment and that situation. Ad Astra kind of has its own ideas that are similar in a way because of the relationship and the feelings that Brad Pitt's character has for his father, that's played by Tommy Lee Jones. But it does it in a colder way, and probably a more subtle way that I personally feel works for this story, because I feel like it also has Blade Runner aspirations. I don't know if you remember Blade Runner 2049 had the scenes where Gosling's replicant character would do his little psych evals, and it wasn't to make sure he was okay. It was to make sure that he was as robotic as possible. And it was, I feel like there's a subtext in Ad Astra that I found very interesting, in that in this future mankind has reached for the stars so well that it's kind of like 2001 in terms of commercial space travel now, and having all these outposts in different areas on the moon and Mars and stuff like that. But in order to accomplish that, it was almost like mankind had to distance itself, or at least the astronauts who do this have to distance themselves from their own humanity. So they can't have too much connection. They can't feel too much. They almost have to be robots to get their jobs done. And then the question to me is that true? Or is that not true? And if it is true, what's the price? Is the price worth it? Is the cost worth losing your humanity for, all this beautiful work and these missions, but is it worth it to not have a connection to other people, and not have the connection to your family, not have the connection to your loved ones? It's something that I ask myself a lot myself, because I'm a loner type. I like to be by myself and focus on work with my films. Sometimes I ask myself, is that worth it? And the movie kind of asks that too, especially with Brad's very subtle, understated, but definitely intense performance. It's such a newer character for him that I've never seen him play before, and especially coming off of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where he had that cool as a cucumber, brash bravado about him, the alpha male type character that he played in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and to see him as the professional, cold, not too emotional character in this. It was very interesting to see the difference between the two characters he plays in his two big movies this year. And honestly, if he gets double nominated, I wouldn't be surprised because he would be lead character for this and supporting character for that one. And I have to mention about the cinematography. I thought the cinematography was absolutely freaking glorious. I'm sitting there in IMAX going, thinking, who shot this? Because I feel like this style is familiar to me, like, but I didn't check on IMDb before I went to go see the movie who shot it, and then lo and behold, it's the same dude who shot Interstellar, Dunkirk, Spectre, Her. He did that amazing DP. I was like, oh, why am I not surprised? Because it had that same visual style, the same lighting design, and the grit that I noticed from a lot of those other films, and it was just a pleasure to see this on the big screen. Yep, Ad Astra is not for everybody. If you're going for a space action epic, this is not for you. Definitely not for you. If you can't handle slow pace, stay home. Just stay home. Wait for something else. Go look up an action movie or something. This is not it. Rambo's out this weekend. You want something short and sweet and bam, bam to the point? There's nothing wrong with that. Check out Rambo. I dug Rambo Last Blood. But if you do want to see something that's more reflective on the psyche of humanity and how sometimes we can lose what makes us human to accomplish our goals, then yeah, I think Ad Astra's for you. You know, it's definitely for you. And if you're into some of those other movies I mentioned, if you're into 2001, if you're into Interstellar, if you're into Arrival, Annihilation, Blade Runner, both Blade Runners, Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049, I don't think Ad Astra's as good as those movies. I think some of those other movies are better made as a whole and probably express their ideas probably a little bit better. But I think if you are a fan of those other films, I don't see why this one wouldn't be worth your time either. So yeah, I recommend Ad Astra. Definitely check it out if you're into those type of slower subtextual sci-fi space films. So this is Chris Johnson from Free in My Reviews. Have a good one.